Hello, this is the second of 3 tutorials on creating Hello World apps. In this one we're going to create a Windows Form app that looks like this. It has a form, it's going to have a label that says Hello World and a quit button. So let's get started with that. We're going to run Visual Studio, of course. Go to File, New, Project. Make sure we're under Visual Studio C# and go to Windows. And then the top option is a Windows Form application. We're then going to set its name down here. So I'm going to call it Unit 1 Hello World Forms app. I don't have to change any of the other options here. I should just note that these are being stored in the Visual Studio 2012 folder within Documents and in the project folder there. So later on, if you have to turn it in, you can find it there. Hit OK. So here's my blank form. We're going to put some controls on here, a label and a button. They're in our toolbox here. There are different selections we can expand. We're going to expand the common controls and use the button and the label. Now when I click on the label, I can drag it out here and put it right on the form. Also do the same thing for a button. Now sometimes I like just to be able to see the toolbar and my form at the same time. We can pin the toolbar here, click on the auto hide pin, and now I can have my controls and my form right next to each other, and I like that. I'm going to click a button and put a button out here. So now I have my button and my label. Now notice as I click on those, they're selected, and down here different properties. Here's my property window. Different properties are shown. I'm going to click on my label, go down and find the text property. It says label 1. I'm going to change that to Hello World. And hit enter, and now it'll say Hello World. Similar for button 1. I'm going to find the text property there and change that and have it say quit. So notice when I click on these different controls, I'll get different properties here. There's lots of properties. We certainly won't be using them all, but you can play with some of them. For example, I can click on the label, Hello World label, and I can go up and find font. There's a little plus here. I'm going to expand that. And so under font, I'm going to click on name. I'm going to make it, let's say, 14 point. So it'll be a little bigger. So again, you can play with some of the other properties if you want to learn. Try these out. Under quit, I'm going to want to enter some. So, well, first let's try this out. If I run this, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything at all. It just says hello world. Oh, it does that. But the quit button doesn't actually quit. So my app runs, but that's all. So again, I hit start and ran the app, but I haven't put any code here. So I need some code to quit the application when it runs. To put code for a button or an object, a button in particular, I can just double click on the button. And it'll bring up a code window here. Notice now I have two tabs up here. I have a forms1.cs, that's my C# code, and I have a forms1.cs design view. So I have two views here, one showing the code and one showing the actual form view. Okay, so now it automatically created a button one click method. My button was called button 1. If I were to go back to the form and look at the very top, the name of this object was button 1, and I never changed that. So again, I'm going to go back to my code, button 1 click. I'm going to type in some code here. I'm just going to say application, that's not spelled right, application and quit. Oh, not quit, exit. And then some parentheses and a semicolon to end that statement. So, and if it's done well, you should see application will be done in greenish colors, showing that's a predefined object, and then exit should be here, and parentheses and a semicolon. So now, when I click on the button 1, it will exit my application. So now I can run this. Here's my Hello World form. I can quit, and it goes right back here. So that wraps up this simple tutorial on creating a Windows form.